Well, with the healthcare debate going on, guess what? President Trump meeting with truckers and CEOs just moments ago at the White House, giving him one of those cabs, and guess what he's going to do? There you go. Let's hear it. Pull the horn. Come on. You ever pass the truck? There you go. I love it, but we are getting some new headlines. The president saying, when asked about or talking about the healthcare debate, I think he's just going to drive off. Apparently the healthcare debate is not going very well. But he says, quote, it will be very close and we have a chance with the healthcare vote. But we're also, as we said before the break, the Mitch McConnell telling senators, guess what? This thing isn't going to happen until next week. And House Speaker Paul Ryan was supposed to have a press conference in about 3 minutes from now, his normal press conference, which he holds at 11:30 in the mornings, but he pushed it back to 3:30. We're expecting to get word of something.
The Dow.
And then look at the Dow. Now was up, what, 40 points, is now just above the watermark, as we're getting the sense, and we've been feeling this as the day's gone on, that there's just not enough votes, more negotiating to do, and the vote on the healthcare bill appearing to fade just a little bit, at least for today. It's being pushed back. We'll have to wait and see. As we see, the markets indeed have been rising and falling with every headline coming out of Washington. The latest one's not so great, and that's why I've seen the Dow drop a bit. Joining us now to give us his perspective, what he's hearing, is Charlie Gasparino.
Well, we should point out that Fox Business moved the Dow markedly lower earlier today when it was on
thanks for that.
The Caputo show. Not like I was trying.
No.
When we pointed out that it was unlikely that the Freedom Caucus was going to move positively in the direction of this bill, that Mark Meadows, the head, I guess the nominal head or the head of the Freedom Caucus, was pretty much of a solid no, and that the caucus itself wasn't going anywhere. It was not embracing this bill. And we also reported that it was unlikely that there was going to be a vote today, and the market went down. Now, the market bounced back up when Meadows came out and seemed to suggest some fairly positive statements about, there's time to work out some compromise. But I will tell you,
the AP, I'm just being told now, reporting that there is a delay on the vote.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real clear here. The votes are not there.
Clearly not.
No, and the Freedom Caucus is driving, it's the tail wagging the dog on this thing. The Freedom Caucus, which is, not a...
How damaging could this potentially be?
Let's say who they are. They're pretty right-wing, not fiscally right-wing.
For sure.
For sure, who thinks that Obamacare is a massive entitlement, and they would like to make sure it's the least entitlement, whatever you have coming out of the gate. In phase one, remember, this is in 3 phases, is the least entitlement possible. Now, they don't like some of the things in the bill that have been proposed by Paul Ryan.
The essential health benefits, they want dumped.
They want that dumped. And Gary Cohn, apparently, the head of Trump's NEC, a former Democrat, has some of his fingerprints in here, which has basically muddied the water for them even more. They don't like Gary Cohn. Gary Cohn is a former Obama supporter who came to the Trump administration from Goldman Sachs. Now,
Charlie, I want to come back to the point. 7 years of Obamacare, with Republicans sniping from the sidelines. They finally get the chance. They have the majority in the House and the Senate. They got a Republican president, and yet here we are. No further forward, it appears, than 7 years ago when they started criticizing.
Let's be real clear. We have a Republican president who, at first, basically said he wanted to keep Obamacare.
He said that it could be tweaked to be better, if I remember rightly.
Okay, so now you have him saying that, and most of the conservative members of the party saying, we want to get rid of this thing. This is going to be a hard vote. Now, I think eventually it's going to happen, because I think that these guys, dollars to donuts at the end, they're going to say, if we can get through this, we can get tax cuts, and we all kind of agree on that. So,
well, that's the other issue. Doesn't this delay, the longer this goes on, it delays these other big policy issues.
Listen, before I said this, and I'm going to just lay this out there for the average viewer, because, listen, we're a business show. We talk about numbers, policy, politics, but also trading. So if you care about it. Now, they're turning negative now. I said that I don't know if Meadows is having this is a negotiating tactic where he's saying no go on all this stuff, or he is really fundamentally opposed to this and he ain't budging. Minute I said that, a former staffer who worked with the House Freedom Caucus emailed me and said, you're wrong. It's not. I said I thought it was a negotiating tactic. He said, no, you're wrong. These guys really believe this stuff. If that's the case, this bill ain't passing the House. If that's the case, I kind of think all politicians are willing to negotiate and compromise.
But apparently not.
I got that email from
Fox News, by the way, Charlie, just reporting, no vote tonight.
Okay. I mean, I didn't.
To your point, that the Freedom Caucus is not budging.
I don't need them to tell me that, but
no, I know. We like to feel that the more people reporting.
Yes, but I'm just telling you that
there are good friends in the same building.
I compete against everybody. What can I tell? I'm just a nasty little. But in any event, yeah, I mean, and you can see the Dow is trading off more now.
That's just remarkable.
Now, here's the thing, Ashley. If this thing goes down in flames, okay, that's where the investor who's playing the market has to worry. And here's why. Traders tell me they went into this. This was a macro trading event. Most traders thought it was going to happen. The fact that that it isn't happening means they don't have any downside protection. They didn't hedge on the downside.
It was all built on the optimism.
It was all built on the optimism. So if this thing really does go down in flames, if there's no compromise at midnight or whenever they get back together tomorrow, look for a fairly stiff sell-off in the Dow. At least that's what they're telling me.
Okay, so this is a big setback, but how damaging is it if this continues to be a protracted argument between the Freedom Caucus members who, to your point, are not going to budge?
If they don't pass this bill, there's going to be, I mean, listen, according to every trader, every trader I talk to says there's going to be a market impact. Now, maybe something else will override it, like, Trump coming out tomorrow and saying tax cuts for all, and then the markets shoot up. I'm just telling you that that's a fairly negative for the market. And then it becomes a political issue as well. I mean, this is a market issue, an economic issue, and a political issue. President Trump, his first thing out of the gate failed. Now, he's not the only person that ever happened to. It happened to other presidents, early failures.
Yeah, it's not dead. It's just not happening in the time frame that we thought it would.
Let's just say it is dead. That they just don't have the votes.
At this point, they have
to table it and go back to something else. Here's where it gets interesting. I keep hearing the theory that you can't do tax cuts unless you do Obamacare change. I don't know if I believe that, but if that's the case, if they're intrinsically linked, then we're never going to get tax cuts.
Yeah. Don't say that.
Well, I'm just telling you, that's the theory if they keep putting this off. So I would just keep watching us.
That's a great place to finish right there. Just keep watching. Charlie Gasparino, as always, great stuff, Charlie.